Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name's Chris and it's fantastic to have you back with us for another video. So in today's video we're going to have a look at 5 projects that I think are going to do really well next week. Before we get into what those projects are, we're going to review the ones that I selected for last week. We're going to see how they performed. If you like this sort of content, mash up the like button, subscribe, tap that bell, select all notifications so you never miss a video. Don't forget to comment below. Let me know if I've missed any projects that you think are going to just do tremendously well next week. Let's get down to the desktop and see which projects I'm calling out for next week. So before we get into those, we're going to have a look at the ones and just see how they performed from the previous video that I did last week. So multivac. So we've seen a 31% increase in multivac for the week, which is, you know, that's remarkable, right? One of my favorite words, as people really keep pointing out. So up 31%. When we called this out at the time of recording the video last week was at 0.01763, and as you can see here, it's 0.2324. So up 35%, or sorry, 31%. So remarkable. It's been higher as well. You know, I'm recording this video just off the back of it pulling back slightly. So this one's, you know, gonna, in my opinion, see, you know, all new highs, and yeah, it's a fantastic project. So yeah, that's the first one that we called out for last week. The second one we called out was Harmony. So this one's down 15%, and as I mentioned in last week's video, September is a really difficult month because, you know, we normally see a dump in September. So we've seen, you know, Harmony 1 not do particularly well, which is a disappointment, but a fantastic project long term, and I do expect this one to do really well. So keep your eyes on Harmony. I do think people are sleeping on this one. So that's 1 and 1. One didn't perform and one did perform, but, you know, overall for the two, not too bad. Avalanche was the next one that we called out. So at the time of recording, it was at 61.38, and now at 73.04. It's actually up 4.79% today, and 17.5% increase. So that's 2 out of 3 for last week. And so, like I say, September's a challenging month, right? So I'm quite happy with how we've done here. Moving on, the next one we called out was Elrond, and Elrond was at $275. So we've seen quite a big drop on this. Again, another 15%. Again, a fantastic project, you know, and again, September is my my get out of jail free card, I guess, for Elrond. You know, it's one of those long-term fantastic project, even mid-term fantastic project, and yeah, it's one of those. I did think it was going to push on. Unfortunately, the markets had other ideas, but I do think it'll bounce and you know, end up, you know, in good price discovery, you know, shortly. That's my opinion. Moving on, Polka Dot. So Polka Dot at the time of recording last week's video was at 33.06, and obviously now it's at 33.84. Again, I'm waiting for Polka Dot to go. It's you know, it's one of those. It's been higher, obviously, so you could have got profit, more profit than this, but, you know, again, 3 out of the 5 for the week. So yeah, not the best of weeks, but, you know, it wasn't a disaster, and I think if we can navigate, you know, through September, I think we're onto a winner. But let's move on to next week. We've got some absolute corkers. I think next week's going to be a really good week. So let's have a look at what projects I've called out for next week. So we've got SingularityNet, which is down 11.69% at 36.63. This one I think is going to do really well if we head on over to the website. So the global AI marketplace, I believe that there are some airdrops that are going to be coming soon, so there's going to be information about that. For me, you know, it's a fantastic project on its own, but, you know, you should check out the interview we did with 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗀. It's a fantastic project, swarms of AI. It's really interesting, and you can dig in on the website and see some of the AI, and you know, get a feel for it, right? So you can just sign up to the Singularity net website, for example, and go into the AI marketplace. You got Song Splitter and stuff like this. It's really interesting. So you can get like an MP3 file, you can drop it in and it will take it out. So you've got like an instrumental, and then you've just you've got the person singing separately. You can split out the songs, which is really interesting. You got fake news, there's just so much. You've got like things around art as well, opinion, chess. I mean, there's just so much, right? Here you go, like transfer of two images. So have a play, right? You get to try some of this for free. It's a really interesting and unique project, and for me, it's long term is going to be immense. And you should go research this one. That's my opinion. But I do think this one's going to do well next week. Moving on, Harmony One. Now, Harmony One, I do think people are sleeping on this, and I do think it's going to do really well. I just think that it's just going to take some time. But I think, next week could be a good week for Harmony. I was expecting it last week. Timing's the hardest thing. I always say this, right? But this project, sharding protocol, building lots of bridges across, multiple chains. So for me, a fantastic project, and definitely one to research. But I do think this one's going to do well this week. Then we've got Quant. So $353.27. Again, I think this is a really good project. We go over to the website here. So connecting all the world's distributed ledgers for faster and more efficient growth. I think this one's going to do really well. So dig into it. I like the tokenomics with it. A lot of people have been sleeping on this one, including ourselves. But for me, I can see this one just going from strength to strength. So do check this one out. Moving on, so we've got Cosmos. Again, I think this one's going to do really well. 39.53. Again, people potentially sleeping on this one. The internet of blockchains. Cosmos is an ever-expanding ecosystem, interconnected apps and services built for a decentralized future. So really interesting, and again, you should really dig into this one. It's a really good project, and again, one that we think is going to do really, really well next week. So keep an eye on this one. And then we've got Polka Dot. Again, we were in profit. I can't even be bothered to put a percentage to it. It's so meaningless. But overall, I think this is a project that the timing is the one on this. It hasn't gone yet. I think it's going to go, and I think it's imminent. We've got lots of people reaching out to us that are building on the Polkadot ecosystem, wanting to do promotional offers and stuff like that. And Nick and myself, we turned down 99.9% of these. We only really sort of cherry pick projects that actually we were interested and we really like, after doing all of our research before we even sort of agree to anything. So we know there's lots of activity in the background for Polkadot. We expect this one to do really well. And again, I think it's going to be when we get that transactional volume come in. So it's going to be interesting, but I think you are going to get that sort of pump before everything sort of starts to come to fruition with these other projects building on the ecosystem. So definitely one to keep an eye on. I'm not going to go into the website. I think most people here would know Polkadot, and if you don't, just head on over to their website and start researching it, because it's a really good, solid project. So definitely worth spending the time and digging into that one. So those are the 5 projects. I think September is a really difficult month to navigate through, because traditionally we see a pullback or a dump, or however you want to articulate that. So timing is always the challenging thing with these projects. Getting the timing is always the hardest bit. We think these are fantastic projects. We think they're going to do remarkably well, and we suggest that you dig into some of the websites and start doing some research on these projects, because they are immense projects. Obviously, none of this is financial advice. Should be treated as educational purposes only. But if you did like the content, mash up that like button, subscribe, tap that bell, select all the notifications so you never miss a video, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care.